So, we all know that the newest addition to the Overwatch hero roster is Freya, and we have an upcoming support hero, Aqua, also confirmed to be named Wu Yang, right? So what if we just added another support character right after, and then we added like 3 more supports, and then we just turn everyone into a support. Anyway, sorry. Let me get to the point. So I have pretty much been making Overwatch OC since I've been into Overwatch. Since like 2020. I'm going to be sharing my hero concept for my OC that I've had since basically 2021. And pretty much all her abilities that I designed that year, and I feel like they've had some adjustments and stuff, especially with how much Overwatch has changed and Overwatch 2 being the thing now. So there's some things that I want to preface off first. For example, obviously this is a character that was pretty much designed for Overwatch 1, now being even though this is a hero concept I designed. I made this OC in 2021, so, but also there's plenty of Overwatch 1 characters that are, in Overwatch 2, and they weren't designed for 5v5 or the perk system. So yeah, I made this character before the perk system, but surprisingly when I did the perks, it actually came really naturally, and it didn't feel like it had anything too crazy. So yeah, and I also want to say I'm not the greatest graphic designer, so please don't laugh at my graphic design and UI design here. But I tried my best with assets like from the internet to make like the icons for the abilities and the ultimate, and also the character art. I don't have money to commission people, and I'm not like an artist per se. Drawing is just like a little hobby that I have, so, but I do have some character art that I would like to start off and show. So and I also made a backstory, so this is pretty much the fully fleshed out character concept. So yeah, for a support, why support? Because support. So yeah, I guess I should just get into it. Right, okay, so here, okay, before I show the artboard, you know what, okay, I guess I'll show her the artwork before I show the mood board, right? Because I made a mood board. Yeah, I made a mood board. Okay, I'm a grown-ass man. I made a mood board. Yeah. So here's my character art. It's just 2 sketches. I'm not great at digital art yet. I got like a drawing tablet that connects to your computer from my friend, and I've been trying it, but I'm not so great at it. I feel like I'm still better at traditional art. I'm not that great at art in general, but like here it's like 2 little sketches. I actually stayed up. I kind of worked on this whole thing like last night, and I haven't slept, by the way. I have not slept at all. So here's the drawing first, and then yeah, so this is pretty much her design. It's not colored. I suck at coloring. I'm not gonna well, I was thinking like, okay, I'll color it because it's for the video, but honestly no, every time I color it, like, just ruins my art unless so anyway, so basically this is Toxi, support character, 250 HP. This is she cost $20,000 to make, the only one in the world. Anyway, so the gist of her design, right? I wanted to like, so if you look through old Overwatch hero concepts from the devs from Overwatch 1, there's like this guy in a hazmat suit, and I was like, why isn't there like a cool hazmat, like poison, like toxic character? And then I just kind of started drawing, 2012. I was like a wee little lad, like, and I was like, oh, so basically this is basically the same design. What if we just had a cool girl with a gas mask, long black kind of witchy hair, spiky hair. Yeah, this is pretty much the Junkertown. What if we had a Junkertown support character? is pretty much the preface, like, because we have Junkrat, DPS, and we have Junker Queen, who is a tank. But what if we had a support character? So this here comes in Toxi, or her name Vivian Ivy, which when Sojourn came out, she stole the name Vivian, and I was really mad about that because I was like, my OC was named Vivian first. But anyway, so basically her design, I know I don't have it colored, but I'm gonna explain the colors. And I think so pretty much we got yellow. Here, I'll just show the mood board. I'll show the mood board. I'll go into the abilities right now, but first is the mood board. So basically the gist of the outfit is that she does have a gas mask, right? A gas mask. What type of gas mask? I don't know, it could be different depending on the skins. Also, so basically pretty much imagine Ana with the wasteland suit. So she has baggy cargo pants, right? They're like wasteland apocalyptic pants with like kind of straps on them, with little straps that flow off, little flowy thingies. And then the main part of her design is her DIY trench coat. It is kind of like the hazmat suit, like very inspired off, you know, hazmat suits, like the original Overwatch character concept art, except it's like how do I say? Oh, right. So it's like a trench coat basically instead of a hazmat suit. But I would say she DIY'd it because okay, right here it's all yellow, but it's actually the color, it would be very rugged and dirty. So it's like Springtrap yellow, right? It's like Springtrap yellow, and it has like it has a crisscross kind of like strings like tied. I don't know what those all like, the things that are on corsets like tied like in the middle of the trench coat, and they like tighten down like to her waist, and then outward like this flowy little, I guess I'll go back to the art, thingies that kind of hang off. And I think it gives her like a decently unique, but they're ripped and chipped also from that wear and that Junkertown wear and tear type of stuff, right? But as you can see, I think this shows her personality is the DIY. It's been ripped and teared, but she still wears it, and she stitched in a little heart break symbol, a warning symbol, a little hazard. Oh, maybe those are already on the coat, or maybe she DIY'd. I guess that's up for interpretation. And I would say her gloves are black. I did not color them black, but they're black. And then she has black hair, which also same, I did not color it black. And then hazmat. At first, her original design is more like the one on the right, where her eyes are visible. My very first design in 2021, she had goggles that had eyelashes. Yeah, the goggles had big ass eyelashes, which looked really goofy, but at the time, this was the vibe. This was Coachella 2016. Like, you have to understand, like, this was literally the vibe at the time. So, yeah. And then basically, okay, and now I've covered it. This is, by the way, sorry, this is gonna be very in-depth. I forgot to mention, very in-depth. So I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I mean, I spent a long ass time making this. So yeah, it's surprising. Like, I literally stayed up, but it's 1 p.m. now. I'm just now making a video, but I think I finished at around 10 a.m. like and then I made the drawing on the left after. So yeah, but originally she had her eyes exposed, but then I like the hazmat idea better, where it's just kind of like more leathery material that has straps that wrap around the back of her head, and she also is wearing like a kind of another head accessory that's kind of like black, that like kind of covers her hair, but a little tough to stick hair, and then the rest of her back still sticks out of the back. And then obviously she got her cargos, her shoes, maybe they're like kind of combat boots. Her arms are exposed, but I would imagine her arms are exposed, but she has black gloves. And yeah, and she's usually holding like bombs in her art. Yup. Okay. So, and that goes about it for her design. Let me go back to the mood board, because so yeah, this is a mood board I made. I'm displaying it now, the mood board, to show like stuff. As you can see, we have the character art, and then we have Ana, the wasteland skin, which is like, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, that's my OC. I was just very, you know, Wastelander, apocalypse, honestly, zombie apocalypse type of vibe. And she looks like I would, but her personality, I think, for example, okay, her heart stitched. I would say, imagine that she's like a very crazy character. She's like, maybe she's like a yandere, and I'm just kidding. Well, maybe because okay, think about it. When we have tropes, like a lot of these Overwatch characters have tropes. Like we have the emo, and honestly, I wonder if we're kind of running out of like Reaper, the emo, Kiriko's like the sassy one, Genji is like the one with his honor, and we're running out of tropes here. So what if we just had like we had like the psycho girl, like she's like all quirky, and yeah, that would be her trope. Obviously, I think I gave her more depth than that, like in her backstory, right? But I would say in the generally way that by trope I mean the way that she interacts with the other characters and is generally displayed. I don't think that she's just represented by like or any character is just a single trope, right? But I just mean in the way that they their interactions generally are like just the surface level thing. She's just like ooh like ha ha ha, like she's like Jinx, Harley Quinn bomb character, but not in the Junkrat way where he's deranged. Like Loki is intelligent and deranged, but her you can tell. I would say you'd be able to tell that she is intelligent and she's very vengeful. But I don't know, maybe some people have better interpretations for what a personality would be like, but that's why I said this like pink phone, because she likes pink things. She's like a girly girl, she likes girly things. So even though she has this whole like rugged hazmat junker almost aesthetic going on, she still incorporates cute little patches stitched into her clothing, and the way that she wears her hair out and stuff like that reflects in her personality. So yeah, okay, so now I'm going to go into the ability section of the video. So yeah, first off we have, alright, I'm looking at this on another like kind of tab here. Okay, so her passive, let me just start off by explaining her passive. Lethal Heart. Toxi's attacks and abilities apply a stack of venom to enemies. Upon reaching 3 stacks, the target will gain the poison effect for 3 seconds. They will move 10% slower for 0.6 seconds and will be weakened for 3 seconds, dealing 20% less damage. If the target is already poisoned, the duration will be extended. Fallout does not apply stacks, which is her ultimate. While poisoned by Lethal Hearts, the target cannot gain a stack of venom. So I'll have to explain what poison does. Basically, oh wait, okay, I should explain what her character is about primarily. So I would say, also this character I imagine is a character who does not excel by healing her team a lot or being pumping out damage like Zenyatta, but she actually gets her value out of just disrupting the enemy team, but not really with sheer damage, but with like status effects and poisoning them and just kind of ruining their day in ways. But she's not really either high healing or damage, but she's a very utility focused character. Yeah, and I would say that hold on, where did what's it called? Oh yeah, so yeah, Toxi is a unique support that has neither high healing output nor high damage output, but focuses on supporting her team by disrupting the enemies with poison and status effects. So yeah, I would say she's kind of a mix between Ana and Junkrat, and she's like an off support type of character, so she doesn't handle the brunt of the healing, but she is like the utility character. So anyway, sorry, back to her passive. Now it should make more sense. Toxi's attacks and abilities apply a stack of venom. Yeah, so maybe that makes more sense now. So there's a new status effect. It's very similar to Ash's burn, but with a few kind of effects to it. that I probably seem really complicated. All those status effects I named are not part of Venom. Hold on, no, just hold on, just hear me. Let me get like into it, okay? So her primary fire, the Euthanizer. I could not like design or draw like out a gun UI, so I just put Junkrat's gun in there for her reference. And actually, the gun that I had already designed for her, I thought was butt ugly, so I didn't even want to. Or I guess like it's like okay, she basically has like a frag launcher. So ammo, 12 ammo, consumes 1 ammo per shot, 1.6-second reload time. The Euthanizer fires radioactive biohazardous capsule projectile bullet. So I have details for every that explain all the little details of the each weapon and ability. So her bullets are pretty much like it's like a dart gun, like on a sleep darts, just firing out darts, but instead of but they have much faster projectile speed, so travel time, and a higher fire rate. So it's not like a slow, it's like fast shooting darts, and it's not as hard like I guess to hit as on a sleep dart. If you, and it can headshot, so regular body shots deal 60 damage over 2 seconds, so damage over time, and headshots will deal 100 damage over 2 seconds instead, and headshots will apply 2 stacks of venom instead of 1. Alright, obviously her primary fire is mostly damage. She heals. This is her secondary fire to show she is a support. She's a healer. Okay, and she does belong in a support role. Okay, you're like, are you just making a DPS? No, I'm not making a DPS support character. Look, secondary fire, Medimine. So throw up to 2 mini mines in reserve that explode when triggered, healing allies and knocking back enemies. So basically, Junkrat's mine, but healing, pretty much. Except it doesn't have like the limited range. You can actually like use it, in a little bit of the longer range, okay, but you can keep up to 2 in reserve. So it has a 3-meter explosion radius, and it'll heal 25 HP instantly, and then an additional 80 healing over 2 seconds. Each mine does have 10-second cooldown respectively to recharge 1 mine. So I did want to design her with her healing. Why does she only have 1? She doesn't only have really 1 healing ability in her base kit, excluding her ultimate, like Zenyatta, like Lucio, because I wanted to make her not like the main healer, right? She's like not a high, I would say this is pretty high healing, but it's not like consistent. She's not like, she won't be able to consistently heal the whole team throughout one fight, which is 2 Medimines. But I mean, she can have several planted out at, like, let's just say multiple recharge. She can leave one on the ground and like detonate it later. So that's just for whatever use that might have. All right, now let's back into her E, slow smoke. Toxi throws a smoke grenade that lingers for 3 seconds in an area, slows enemies, and obscures their vision. Crouch to roll it on the ground. So basically, like, usually it travels in an arc, but I would imagine if you crouch while you use the ability, you can roll it on the ground, and that can have some interesting uses depending on the situation that you're in. So additional details. I know, so basically a smoke bomb. I think this is actually a unique ability, and that it's the first ability in the game that like obscures your vision, intentionally, intentionally obscures your vision, excluding all the things in the game that already are like clutter. But to alleviate this, ally, your teammate's vision is not affected. So this doesn't really deal like damage, it just deals 10 damage on impact and then 10 damage per second afterward, and the ability lasts, it lingers for 3 seconds, so it's not dealing much damage at all, and you can just walk out of it. But it does apply a slow, so I think I would imagine like a 20% slow. But the slow lingers for 1.5 seconds after you leave it, but the damage does stop immediately when you leave the area. Yeah, so that's her E ability. I would feel like the use cases for this ability was oh, and here's where I explain more about her kit. So she's pretty much area denial with her utility, as you'll see further. Shift, dead zone. Launch a hazardous bomb that explodes and instantly poisons enemies, damaging over time and reducing their healing received and applied. So, what does that mean? Basically, you throw another bomb that's like arced, but it does not have a lingering cloud. It just instantly explodes and does what it needs to do. So, it deals 25 damage on impact, and here's what poison actually does. So the new poison effect. If you are afflicted by poison, you will have minus 10% healing received. So yeah, it's basically like a way worse version of anti-nade, but she can put it up more consistently through this ability and her passive. Poison does deal damage, so it deals 10% max HP every second. So that's 25 damage per second on a 250 HP target. Since that would be a lot more on... Oh, and sorry, it continuously will deal this damage until it has dealt at least half of the target's health. So... But it's not really going to be killing anyone because it's just kind of slow. It does do a lot of damage, like it does half your health. It will always do half of your health, but it doesn't do that instantly. It does it over like over time. Like so if you're getting like healed like in the team fight, it's not going to be killing you. And I also added the effect that you cannot die from poison damage. You can die from the impact damage of this ability, but the poison effect, no. On tanks, since tanks, half of tank's HP is a bunch of damage, it will do 25, only like a quarter, until it does 25% of that tank's max health. Also, another reason why she has this ability to her kit is since obviously she's a lower healing character, she's gonna struggle when it comes to building her ultimate compared to other supports. So to alleviate this, she can lower the support's healing, thereby slowing down how fast they build their ultimate. Also, since this does so much damage, like in theory, but it's not bursty, so she's not like a DPS that's going to kill you. She's not a DPS that with like a burst poison damage, but it does it still does a lot of damage, like technically, so it does help build her ultimate. She can still build her ultimate. Alright, and another passive, which is basically another ability. She has a special melee. Yes, oh my god. She's not like the other characters. Oh, I mean, Junker Queen has it, so Zenyatta, Snap Kick. And the reason for this passive is that she does not have, I'm just spoiling it, she does not have any mobility abilities, as you'll see. So this is to help her mainly against dive. This will be, she doesn't, you know. So her passive ability, Put Down. She has plus 50% quick melee damage and 100% quick melee lifesteal. And landing a quick melee will stun the target, and then this effect will go on a cooldown. So after meleeing a target, Toxi stabs them with like a syringe. So if you melee someone, she'll like then play like an animation of her like going choo with the syringe, and I think it would look like really cool. And then which afterwards they would be like stunned during that animation, and then a little bit after, so that gives Toxi time to like respond. Maybe you want to damage them, but she doesn't have burst damage is the thing. She doesn't have burst damage, so if she gets dove, it's not like she's gonna be like really that great at 1v1ing, especially if her abilities are on cooldown, and she might want to use her abilities like in the fight with like large groups of people. So yeah. So but this melee like passive thing has an 11-second cooldown. Alright, so onto the next section. Finally, Toxi's ultimate ability, Fallout. So, what is this? So, choose to deploy either healing gas at your current position or toxic gas at a target location that either buffs your team or damages enemies and obscures their vision. So, what does this mean? Remember old Symmetra? Basically, she's like old Symmetra, you know, back in Overwatch 1 when she had the photon projector and the the shield generator and the teleporter ultimates. It's kind of like that, except this is pretty much the same ultimate, but she has like a healing version of it and a damage version of it. So the animation is she calls up, you know, on her cell phone, and I imagine it would pretty much look like a phone that she during the animation, and she calls upon 2 drones, either a love drone or a toxic drone. So upon ulting, you're prompted with the 2 ults. You either click right click or left click to choose which ultimate you'd like to do. Special thing, the healing ultimate you can only place at the position that you are at. So this pretty much relegates to using it purely defensively. Otherwise, if you could use the healing ult like offensively, it would kind of defeat the point of the 2 ultimates, because I don't want you to like pretty much only one ultimate to always be used. So that's why I did that. And then the toxic drone can you can choose to deploy it farther from you. So yeah, the drones each deploy gas with unique effects. About the cast time, so the ultimate can be destroyed. So it's pretty much about the size of May's ultimate. It goes from a 7 to a 12 meter area, but they can be destroyed. So basically the drone will come down like and like kind of be there like deploying the gas, and if you destroy it early, the size of the ultimate won't just go away, but the size of it will be decreased, which I thought was I don't know if that's a good. I mean, I think it's decent to balance the ult in a way, because it can be pretty huge or like a bit smaller than May's ult. Yeah. So it basically has 3,550 points to charge. So that's like a bit more expensive than Juno's ult, pretty much, or I think yeah, a mediumly more expensive than Juno's ultimate, and it lasts 10 seconds. It lasts about like how long Kiriko's rush lasts. Okay, so the first ultimate, the love drone, deploys pink healing gas, increasing defenses, boosting allies within the area, and the gas will obscure enemy vision from the outside unless they are inside of the ultimate. So allies inside the love gas will receive 20% more healing, and I just wanted to give it a unique effect, something that, because I mean we already have Juno ult heals damage boost, Mercy ult can heal and damage boost, Baptiste ult damage boost, Lucy ult over health, Rally also, Mora big healing. So I was like, what can we give this thing? Like, how about everyone gets 20% max H? It's not bonus health, because bonus health once depleted can't be regained. This is like you get more health that can be healed up. So if you lose it, you can get healed up again. So everyone in it will temporarily receive 20% max HP. And maybe this HP would have a new color, or maybe it would just be the regular HP. But if we did have to like signify it, then maybe it would just be pink, I guess. Yeah, and then also this ultimate does heal already, and it heals 70 heals per second. But this healing is not affected by the the healing boost that it gives. So it's pretty much like Anna's anti that does the healing boost. In that regard, a little bit worse though. Oh, not my notification. Alright, so the toxic drone, the interesting one, deploys toxic purple gas in an area, prompting when you select this ultimate, a purple ring will kind of show its area that it'll be deployed at to kind of help show where you want to deploy it, just for like clarity's sake. And so when the gas is deployed, enemies inside take 60 damage over time, like 60 damage a second, like in the area. So it's a pretty decent amount. They are slowed by 15% and they are poisoned. They take affected by the poison. Whoa. A poison status effect. Sorry, excuse me, I'm a little tired. And what does this mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, they also have their vision obscured. Like, basically, both the ultimates you can see if you're inside them, but you can't see outside. Obviously, you don't block your own teammate's vision, but this is just for enemies. Alright. Yeah, and that's her ultimate. It's very flexible, so basically, that's pretty good. I mean, too, it's an area denial ult, pretty much. Throw it out on the point, have people get off the point, or if you're you want to stall the point yourself, use your defensive ult. There's so much situations where you'd want the defensive. And then look at the UI, like the healing one is like a little heart, it's like a radioactive heart, and then the evil one is like a broken heart. She has this, and this is like a common, that's kind of like her symbol, is like a heart and a broken heart for her healing and damage respectively. Now her perks. So wait, I guess a recap for her ability so far. She's, as you can see, she's a utility area denial focused character. So honestly, when I designed the character, I was like, oh my god, I just remembered that Overwatch 2 has perks now, and when I designed this character, perks weren't a thing, so now I have to add perks. And I was like, oh shoot. But then I was like, oh my god, like I don't even know what to add. But then I realized, when I had so many, like for example, I couldn't decide, do I want smoke bomb to also inflict poison? Do I want damage? Like, in her gun, her primary fire, I was struggling a lot because I was like, what do I do with her prime? Because I wanted something unique, right? So that we don't have like multiple supports with like the same gun. But I guess as you add, sorry. Obviously, as Overwatch 2 continues to add more characters, not everyone can be completely unique, right? But I still, I guess, want to make characters unique as possible. Like, well, that's how I personally would like design characters. So with her primary fire, I was like, what can she do? Like, maybe like on a sleep darts basically, but like bullets, like if it was your primary fire, because she shoots like darts. But I was like, wait, but if she's kind of like Junkrat as a support, what if she had like healing bombs? But I was like, that's what Baptiste has, a healing grenade launcher. I was like, what if it doesn't heal, it only does damage? Like, that's just her weapon, her damaging weapon is like heal bombs. But then I'm like, what it do? Poison? What it like? Because then she has other abilities that do poison, and then with the passive, I feel like her passive ability that she has works better with something like that's like a projectile gun. And then maybe even hit scan, but then I had another OC that I made hit scan, so I don't want to make her hit scan. Yeah, so that's pretty much why. Now, I guess, but yeah, so pretty much my strategy to make the perks was, what about all these things that I feel like I wanted to fit into the character but I couldn't fit in? I just make them the perks, and that is, they pretty much act as buffs and to her, or changes to her playstyle depending on the situation, and help alleviate some of her, I feel like she has some major drawbacks. So yeah, her level 1 minor perks, Toxi's perks, Junk Enhancement. So basically this changes her primary fire. Toxi's bullets, her primary fire, now explode, dealing 30 AoE damage, but at a reduced fire rate. But how it works with her venom stacks, only one enemy in an instance can gain a stack of venom. Like, so you can't apply it to AoE, like to group of stacks to a group of people, because that would be pretty much broken, right? Oh, by the way, I should clarify that on the passive, you know how she had this other effects, like they get slowed. The slowing effect and the weaken effect isn't a part of the poison status effect. These two effects are unique to her passive stack, 3 stacks. Basically, someone can already be poisoned by one of her abilities, but if you land these 3 stacks, they are slowed for like a half a second and deal like less damage to you. So it's good for like 1v1s, and it's kind of just rewards. It's like skill, since headshots will apply 2 stacks. Right. So yeah, anyway, her other option for perk is Mega Medimind. So this is just like, if you're like, man, like she does Ho does not heal at all, so like so this helps alleviate that in a way. Gain 1 extra charge of Mediminds, and they recharge 10% faster. So that's kind of, so whatever perk there. 2 options. Basically more up for more offense with junk enhancement, or more healing with if you feel like you need more healing with Mega Medimind. And then her major perks pretty much have the same theme. Biotic, this actually I feel like would be her most commonly picked perk. I try to make them both, I think they're both like really good, but I feel like I would imagine if she was in Overwatch, a lot of people would pick Biotic Bullets, because it really alleviates her main weakness of just not being able to heal consistently, not being able to heal bot. And yeah, so basically, Biotic Bullets. Toxi's primary fire can now heal allies for 80% of the damage that it deals. So the reason why I didn't go with the flat number, I went with the percentage, because let's just say you chose Junk Enhancement as your minor perk. It does more explosion damage, so technically her weapon does deal more damage. So if you chose Biotic Bullets, the healing would account for doing for that. Otherwise it would kind of be like a disparity between her healing and damage. So it can kind of go, and it's like, let's just say, and you basically now have AoE heals. But the healing you can't headshot healing, because notice how her gun can headshot. Yeah. Anyways, Want the Smoke is her other major perk. Her slow smoke ability can now poison enemies, so that lingering cloud that blocks your vision. It now also, in addition to slowing and blocking your vision, now poisons you. Now this just makes it that I actually didn't include that in the ability at first. That's what, so I was like, that would honestly be broken. It just does everything. But since it's a major perk, and it's not, she just has another way to like apply poison. She can kind of stack. I mean, this goes back to her kit in general. It's just she can just cycle through AoE area denial abilities quite frequently to like just disrupt the enemies and stop them from being like in the positions they want to be in, right? So yeah, that goes it for her perks, for Toxi's perks. And now her story. Now I'm going to go over Toxi's story. So her story pretty much, I kind of clickbaited when I said like Joker talent support, because that actually wasn't really my original story for her. But then I kind of realized, oh wait, she literally just sounds like a Joker talent support. So I guess let me get into it. I have 2 ideas for her backstory. So basically, she's a villain support. I can't believe I didn't mention that at the beginning. What if we had a new villain support or an anti-hero support character? These yawns, man. So the Junkertown support concept and her design and kit definitely fit the mold. But the only drawback is that it kind of gives her no relation to Overwatch in comparison to my other story. It kind of gives her no character motivation. She's just kind of shoehorned in there like, I don't know, Freya. Which, I mean, Overwatch already does that with their characters, but I don't want to do that with mine. I like them to have reason to be. I mean, Overwatch doesn't really, I guess, care about the story anymore, but I do. I care about the story of Overwatch. I mean, I heard that we're gonna be getting cinematics again from somewhere. I don't know if that's true, but it would be cool if we did. Her other story concept, I feel like gives her ties to Overwatch and like more character depth and just. I would say she still can be a Junkertown and support in that she moved to Junkertown for whatever reason afterward, but I guess you can kind of make sense of it. But I think it gives her more like depth. And okay, let me give context to this story that I'm just going to read out. Yeah, I'm gonna yap and read this whole thing, so if you're like, if that bores you, so I guess you can skip it. So, all right. Oh yeah, and providing context, I feel like maybe this is in first person, that like from her perspective, so I would imagine maybe her motivation is she's a villain support. She is like trying to take revenge on Overwatch by stopping them from reuniting, and she's like kind of like one by one trying to take them out, kind of like Reaper. Like that's exactly what Reaper's trying to do, right? So maybe she teams up with Reaper, but she didn't know that Reaper was ex-Overwatch agent. She just thought Reaper like didn't like Overwatch, and he didn't. So he lied to her to like utilize her. And then I don't know what character, maybe she has an encounter with like Lucio or something. Like maybe she has them tied up, and then this like, I don't know, maybe they exchange something, or maybe they find out maybe she finds out that Reaper was ex-Overwatch and she's being used, and then she kind of realized that she's just taking her shit out on other people, and this is the model. She explains her sad backstory, and then they become friends and get along, and then she's like, she becomes part of Overwatch, and with the power of friendship. No, or maybe, I don't know. Okay, so my father worked at an old nuclear facility funded by Overwatch. They had interests in reactivating again to build weapons during the Omnic crisis. It was dangerous for my dad, working on a facility with decade-old nukes. I used to worry about him a lot, but he always assured me that the teams of specialists had disarmed them to get the facility up and running again, ready to build up more artillery against the Omnics. Overwatch's plans, however, ended up backfiring. I rarely saw my dad, the workaholic. That day, I think I just wanted to see him. Well, that's what I tell myself. Who I really wanted to see more than my dad, though? Overwatch. Vivian? What the hell are you doing here? I'm working. You need to leave right now. Sorry, I was a curious child. Does Overwatch work too? I want to see, Papa. I want to see, remember? I was also a dumbass. Intel of the facility's rehaul had been leaked by Omnic spy bots, and an ambush attack was launched. The bombs were supposed to have been disarmed. It should have been saved. I was 8 years old when it happened. My hometown incinerated. But I guess my dad actually suspected as much from them. He built bunker suits on his own time for himself and his team should anything go wrong. My last memory of that day is my dad putting me in this big yellow suit. I wasn't even tall enough to see him. This will protect you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Then, silence. I blacked out for 2 days, and what I awoke to resembled the city like the zombie movie I watched with my dad a week ago. I made it out, though, walking the wasteland with no sign of life. I thought I was dead, wandering an endless dream of familiar places. But what I knew was if I got out the suit, then I would die even more, somehow. Maybe my dad would still be alive if I didn't want to see Overwatch that day. Or maybe war was more important than people. I will never forgive them. So I wrote that at 5 a.m. and honestly I guess the writing is pretty terrible, but basically motivation to sum it up. Father worked in nuclear like facility that Overwatch was like, hey, I imagine in this universe it's like the future, they had banned nukes, so that's why the facility was not, you know, running. Overwatch was like, well, we have this omnic crisis, so let's like fund it and get it like rebuilt and hire people, but it's not entirely like safe. But like Vivian's dad knew that, so you know, he built like high-tech suits, and it's the future, so obviously nuke-resistant suits exist. Come on. But I mean, Overwatch didn't provide these. He built these for himself and his crew, and then Vivian was a little Overwatch fangirl at her age. Don't ask me anything about the timeline or how old she is now or how this matches up. Okay, don't even. Anyway, I mean Kiriko, like, so yeah. So she like, you know, calls a cab because it's I imagine her hometown. You know, it's the future. I'm sure it's easy for an 8-year-old to call a cab and just an Uber to her dad's work. Just to, I mean, in her mind, she's like, yeah, it's a nuclear facility, but I heard my dad say that it's like funded by Overwatch. That means Overwatch works there. If I go over there, I'm gonna see like my heroes. And then he's just like, what on earth? But then at this, it was a really unlucky day because Omnic involvement, war going on, battle going on in a nuclear facility that was abandoned, and all the bombs aren't like disarmed yet. So the dad knows that something is imminent. So, but he doesn't have his crew. Obviously, took the rest of the suits, so he just places Vivian into the suit that he made for himself. And I was really bad at voicing that, but he's just like, you know, he just tells her that he loves her one last time, and you know, kaboosh. And then she blacks out because the suits are pretty good. Like, I mean, all she did was black out at being in the center of the nuclear explosion. She just blacked out in the suit. And then, but I mean, it obviously harmed it. I'm sure it gave her brain damage. And then anyway, she just kind of looked up and walked out of the city for probably took her days. And like basically an apocalyptic type of scene where everything that she knew from her life is there, but just in ruin. And you know, she doesn't even know if she's alive or dead or what's going on. And then anyways, later as she grows up, she wants to kind of like keep her dad alive in a sense by pursuing like just like nuclear technology. And then that's why she's named Toxi, and that's why she has like toxic gas abilities, so she has like a reason for her abilities. That's why I do like the story I made better than like just going with, oh, she's from Junkertown, because it gives her a reason for why she has her powers. I mean, why she uses her abilities the way she does. And she has this like deep hatred for Overwatch, like everyone does. Yeah, for just being a negligible company. I mean, yeah, I mean, not company, but entire corporation, whatever. I mean, so, and she has like this, so that's why I think maybe her character arc, because I'm a sense she's a villain, right? She's a villain support, but if she's a villain support, she needs to do something villainous. So maybe how to get her involved, she tags along with Reaper and like, I want to take revenge on them. Yeah, revenge. And Reaper wants to take revenge on them too. And maybe she's pretty skilled at, like, she gets some Overwatch agent in her clutches and then finds out, I don't know, somehow that Reaper was like also an ex-Overwatch agent, that she just did not know that, which it would probably be really obvious, right? But it's kind of like the Superman thing where it was him, it was you, Gabriel Reyes, Reaper, Overwatch. Yeah. And then she just kind of like comes to like a realization where she's like, damn, like, you know, maybe I guess things are more nuanced. And then she just like, I mean, but she doesn't, I wouldn't say she joined Overwatch. I would say she's acting like somber in a way. No, because I want to say she's working with Talon after that point, but she kind of grows with that sense. I'm sure she's still like, it's still painful for her, but she doesn't, she's not gonna take it out on Overwatch agents, I guess, in a way. It's not like she loves them now like she did as a child, but yeah, that's what I imagine. That's just some story concepts. And that was like a short story, really short story. It was like terribly written. I'm sorry. I mean, I think I used to be like pretty good at writing, but that was just, I didn't. It was a single draft. That was one. That was not a real. That was not something I revised multiple times. That was something I like went in and fixed and typos, and that was it. So yeah. And so now that's pretty much it for my Overwatch content. Let's go back. Let's for like an overview. So game plan. So I already pretty much read this part of the game plan. So pretty much she's excellent at area denial and disrupting the enemy team. So her pros: great area denial. She can make space and maintain it by cycling her abilities. Another pro: amazing utility, like really good utility. Poison, like anti-heal. She's a stun. It's mainly for herself. It's not like a good stun, but she has like all these effects that she can apply, right? And then she's kind of cute. I mean, you can't see her face because there's a gas mask, but I think she's cute. So I think she would eat up the skins. Like seriously, Blizzard, you don't even have to pay me. Please just take this concept. Yeah, I would love that. Anyways, cons. Lacks burst damage. Most of her damage is all outside of her primary. Is just like damage over time. So she's not like, doesn't have much kill power like others like Sen or Moira, Kiriko. But I don't think that's intentional. I think that's good. I think if she had burst damage in her kit, it would just be like terrible to play against. And it's already annoying to play against. I know like CC and slows, so not great, but that was the whole concept of her character, was disrupting with status effects. So deal with it. But she doesn't have another major drawback, no mobility, much like Honor or Zen. Her melee is good for that if they're like right up in your face, but it's a melee, it has limited range, so it's not always going to be effective if the enemy keeps like a medium range from you, whoever's diving you, or you're dived by multiple people. Yeah. Also, another con, very inconsistent healing outside of her major perk, Biotic Bullets, which basically gives her the ability to like heal consistently a lot. Especially if you run it with the Medimind perk, then you like allow her to keep up with others' supports. But the thing is that she needs to gain her perks to do this. So that's pretty much already. So generally without perks, she has inconsistent healing. High ult cost, I know high is like 4,000, but I think since she has naturally low healing, I think the number is high. I don't know, I'm not an Overwatch dev, okay? But I pretty much looked at Juno's ult number and I was like, what if we just added 500 more points to that? Yeah, seems about right. Yeah, so another con, that Kiriko and Zarya are in this game, so that's cleanses that will just cleanse her out. I also have another OC that cleanses status effects, so if she was there, it's another one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I didn't read this part of her game plan. While her healing output is generally lower to start, she has the potential to thwart the enemy supports by reducing her healing. She's right. Yeah. So I guess that is pretty much the end of my Overwatch new support hero concept. Toxi, the Junkertown support who supports her team by disrupting the enemy team. yeah, and my OC. I guess um yeah, sorry that I don't have high quality art. If I was like super rich, I would definitely commission someone like and to draw they're in the Overwatch style, but I just did what I can and use traditional art. I mean, I put drawings from a sketchbook on the screen. That was the best I could do. Sorry. Um, I mean, I had fun making the graphics though, and already fun with this a lot. And I do have a lot more Overwatch character concepts. I had like this plant healer before Life Weaver came out, but it's actually a plant healer, okay? Plant support, and then like another like a support that kind of looks like Makima, who's like a police officer. Yeah, you know, there's a pattern here, okay? But hey, I'm a support main myself, so of course when I like to design stuff, it's gonna be supports. But I also have concepts for like a tank and DPS, but they're not as fleshed out. But I mean, but yeah, let me know if this is like, if you actually like watch this, I don't know, like thank you. And let me know if you, I guess, want to see more concepts, because I would like to make more. I mean, even if like no one like cares about this, I think I want to make more anyway for myself, just because I find it fun. So yeah, and bye bye. Oh, additional note. Please excuse the background of my room. Okay, like, um, I spent this whole night doing this. I didn't spend the whole night cleaning my room. I'll do that later. Okay, so yeah.